I don't know about you, but I'd grown up being told that astrology was of the devil and that I should avoid it to protect my eternal soul. It wasn't until I got divorced, when everything fell apart, that I realized my well-meaning upbringing hadn't prepared me for the real world at all, and I began to seek for answers outside of my childhood boundaries. Having always loved astronomy, I soon discovered and fell in love with the ancient art of astrology. It healed my soul, it helped me discover and love who I truly am. It took me beyond all the people-pleasing, beyond the societal limitations, and into a world of authenticity and confidence in my future. It changed my life completely. You know, I was a single mother for 14 years, and that started just as I began my immersion into astrology. Through all the ups and downs of raising 3 beautiful children and creating a home for us, astrology was my foundation for understanding life. And it even led me to meet my wonderful soulmate and now husband, David from San Francisco. So if you're ready to walk away from your own limiting beliefs and build a life that you truly love, well, I'm ready to lead the way. And let's see what the stars have in store for us this week. My friends, this is an incredible time for emotional release and healing, not to mention manifestation, all heading our way this October, November. I am so very excited to talk about it with you and what it's going to do in your life. Thank you each one for being here at my YouTube channel and supporting my work week after week with your presence at Guiding Star Astrology YouTube channel. Thank you also to everyone who likes, shares and subscribes to this channel. I am so truly grateful to you. Words cannot express just how much it means to me that you do that. What is happening in the heavens this week? Well, something that only occurs twice in any 20-year period. And it is so auspicious and full of blessing, you need to know about this. It's the Saturn-Jupiter trine. Let me draw it on the astro wheel for you. We have Saturn back here around 25 degrees, excuse my coughing, of Pisces in a trinal aspect with Jupiter. This is really important, and over this 20-year period, as I said, this will only occur twice. Now, it lasts for quite some time. When it does occur, like a year or so, we get it on and off, but it only happens 2 times in a 20-year period, and it's very auspicious. So throughout 2026 to 2027, in fact, August 2026 to July 2027, this aspect is going to be exact to the degree and minute 3 times. But from October the 20th actually to December the 15th this year, 2025, they will be almost exact, just not to the minute, that's all. And their energy will be potent because they're going to be within 2 degrees of orb from one another this whole time. Something to be excited about. So what does this trine energy that we look forward to so much do for us? Well, you can consider the following things. We have excellent judgment and greater luck in business and all our professional affairs as a result of this beautiful trine energy. Practical matters in our life can be handled more wisely. Thorough planning, we're more engaged with thorough planning, and that actually helps us build our future on solid ground. So if you've been reviewing your life and reassessing where you're going and how you're going to get there, perfect energy for this moment in time. We can actually succeed in making our dreams become reality when we have a trine between Jupiter and Saturn like this. So it's actually a really good time to launch a business or expand a business or rejig a business in some capacity. Our status and our reputation can go through a rise during this time, which is exciting and wonderful. We can be assisted by people in authority, assisted by elders, assisted by wise ones. So with that in mind, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody with more knowledge and experience than you. Honor their wisdom. You won't be sorry that you did that. So honesty, integrity, stability, wise, energy, caution and prudence are hallmarks of this time. We become more wise. We become appropriately cautious. We become very integrous in our actions. And this has excellent karmic repercussions down the track for us all. We can be more confident about utilizing our power and our influence. And because we're so integrous, we're using it for good to bless others. And that ultimately karmically blesses our lives down the track. Leadership opportunities arise. You might get an invitation to, for example, speak at a big conference or take on an important role in society in some way during this time. This is also a really good time for property and real estate deals. So if you've been thinking about selling, if you've been weighing up, is now a good time? Well, under the Saturn trine Jupiter energy, it can be a blessing for you. Probably depends what's going on in your natal chart as well and the interactions at play there, but this can be an added bonus, let's say. But you know what? With this trine energy and with all trine energies, what is required from us? We are required to take action. If we don't, the opportunity passes us by and we miss our chance for more success. So really, my friends, look around you for opportunities, see the open doors, step through them, run through them. Don't sit back and wait for it to land in your lap. Sometimes I do readings for people. I offer sort of insights and things like that, maybe around love coming or whatever it might happen to be. And then people say, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, no, that taking that action or doing X, Y, Z, I'm not into that. So, okay, fine, freedom of choice, free will and everything. But when these waves are breaking and you miss the opportunity because you haven't just, like a machine gun, covered every single avenue that is out there for you to target, then the wave may break and you may miss it. So my friends, I use this as an illustration to say, take action when the wave is breaking. That's right now. This wave of opportunity and blessing that only occurs twice in 20 years, put your machine gun to work. And I use a machine gun analogy because it covers like everything. When you've got a machine gun firing, everything in your range, it's getting a pinpoint firing on it. Make sure that you take action and cover every base so that you don't miss this wonderful, benevolent energy that is now unfolding for you. So, my friends, mark the following dates in your calendar. Why are you going to mark dates in your calendar? Well, these dates I'm going to give you are potentially super powerful days for manifestation and blessing. And if we have foreknowledge and the awareness that good days are coming when we can take action and make the most of the energy, we will have a greater capacity to grab the opportunities that arise and get something worthwhile manifesting out of them. These dates, why are they good? That I'm going to give you in a minute. These dates are when we're going to see the creation of grand water trines in the heavens. And a grand water trine, depending on which houses it's falling in your sign, we will talk about that in a minute. These grand water trines that will occur on the dates I'm going to give you bring about great opportunities, blessing and support, not to mention emotional healing and releasing of blockage. So we've been looking forward to this energy, or I've been looking forward to this energy all year, and it's so exciting. So whenever we have planets over the next 2 months, from now until December, transiting around 24, 25, 26 degrees of Scorpio, we are going to form a grand water trine. And this will include, let me get all the planets that are going to be involved here so that as I discuss these dates, you'll know what I'm talking about. The sun will be there, Mercury will be there, the moon will be there. We will also have Venus transiting there within this time frame that Saturn and Jupiter are making within a 2-degree orb a trine to each other. What a powerful energy. So let's start with our key dates. On the 26th of October, Saturn's going to be at 26 degrees of Pisces. Jupiter is going to be at 24 degrees of Cancer. And Mercury is going to be at 25 to 26 degrees of Scorpio, forming a beautiful grand water trine. Then on the 29th of October, Saturn's going to be at 25 degrees of Pisces, Jupiter will be at 24 degrees of Cancer, and Mars will be at 25 degrees of Scorpio, its own sign that it rules. That will be powerful. Then in November, it really gets golden, my friends. On the 18th of November, Saturn's going to be at 25 degrees of Pisces, Jupiter will be at 25 degrees of Cancer, and the Sun will be at 25 degrees of Scorpio. Then on the 20th of November, we're going to have a new moon at 28 degrees of Scorpio, while these two are at their 24, 25 degree positions of the other two water signs. So absolutely within orb of influence for a grand water trine for the new moon in Scorpio. Very, very exciting. On the 23rd of November, Mercury in his retrograde phase will also form a second grand water trine with Jupiter and Saturn. Very exciting. So that's worth noting, 23rd of November. And then we have a Venus trine to the two interpersonal planets, Jupiter and Saturn. This is happening on the 27th of November. So many dates, so much to look forward to. I'm excited by this really wonderful energy that we're entering into for the end of 2025. And haven't we all been waiting for it? It's been such a tough year, really, really tough year, when things didn't change as much as we hoped they would in the direction that we all hoped it would. Many of us felt stuck. Many of us felt like the energy just wasn't shifting like we wanted it to. Now the flow becomes easier. We stop belting our head against a brick wall trying to make things happen. Now the actions that we take actually are effectual, actually see results, actually become tangible. Prior to this, let me just explain why. Prior to this, Saturn and Jupiter were in a separating square from one another, and this has been challenging, to say the least. And squares are the energy of blockage. The energy of Saturn is a square aspect. Restriction, blockage, holding things back, keeping things from moving forward. Difficult Saturn energy. Now, in a trinal aspect, a trine is the energy of Jupiter. It's ease, it's flow, it's abundance, it's prosperity. It's all good things just coming with luck and benevolence if we take action and make the most of our opportunities. So excited, my friends, about this. All right, before we jump into the all signs breakdown, I want to tell you I have been loving connecting with each of you in my live readings, hearing your stories, understanding your journey, seeing the impacts of the planets in your lives. It has been truly amazing. Why didn't I do live readings sooner? Honestly, I'm a bit silly. Here is a response from one of my clients that I've been seeing, and now is my friend, I will just add, and I'd love to share this response that she shared with me. Kesenya, she says, I am so grateful for your amazing insights. It has been the most difficult phase of my life lately, and it's felt utterly hopeless at times. So thank you for your guidance. You have no idea what it means to me. I love receiving those sorts of messages and knowing that astrology has the power to give clarity and confidence and direction for our lives. What a gift we have as human beings on the planet to know this wonderful ancient language. And it's also wonderful to be just meeting so many truly beautiful people in the world. My friends, you have no idea how much you are restoring my faith in humanity at this time. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So if you are going through a period where you're struggling and trying to make sense of what's happening in your life and in the world around you, you can absolutely book your live session with me. The link is in the description below to my website. So now let's kick off the all signs breakdown by beginning with Aries. Now for Aries, rising, sun or moon people, the grand water trine that is forming in the grand water trines, there's many of them, that will be forming over the next 2 months are occurring in moksha houses, the 4th, the 8th and the 12th houses. And so moksha means liberation in Vedic astrology. And so the focus for Aries people will be on liberating our souls over the next couple of months. In Vedic astrology, a moksha grand trine signifies a strong, harmonious, but potentially challenging spiritual path towards a feeling of liberation. We are actually in this grand trine. It's beautiful grand trine energy, lovely blessing energy. It is going to be a blessing, but it is involving some of the more difficult houses, and it's difficult inner houses, like inner being, our psychological selves, essentially. 8th house and 12th house, and also 4th house has that connotation as well, our deepest emotions. The 4th house represents our inner happiness and our home life. The 8th house represents spiritual transformation and hidden matters. And the 12th house represents final liberation and spiritual knowledge. Very important houses for inner growth. So there's going to be a grand trine in these houses that is less about material and worldly events and more about circumstances that free you from your own self-sabotaging behaviors, your psychological hang-ups, the secrets. There might be some secrets now because the 12th house and the 8th house are both about secrets, and the 4th house about your secret emotions. Secrets might come to the surface now, and if they do, they're going to set you free and liberate you. The past can be wiped clean. You can get a fresh slate, as they say, or a fresh piece of paper, a fresh start about to occur in your life in some way, wiping out past mistakes, past difficulties, past challenges. What a gift from the universe to have this. Now, particularly for our beautiful Aries people, opportunities might be coming your way through 8th house things over the next 2 months, as each personal planet forms an aspect to the 2 interpersonal planets by these trines. And so what opportunities might be happening for you? Well, there might be opportunities that come your way from other people's money, hidden money, a tax return, a big investment that you've made. An opportunity might arise to invest in something, or you might get a return from an investment that you made. Business loans, mortgages, that sort of thing might be opportunities for you. Leaning on other people's money is potentially an opportunity for you to move forward in life and to liberate your soul in some way. This is the house. The 8th house is the house of what we receive from others: moral support, emotional support, physical support, financial support, material goods, inheritances, wills, payouts, windfalls. These are where your opportunities may lie. So keep your eyes peeled. Somebody might offer you the loan of a car. Somebody might offer you a bedroom to live in while your house is being renovated. Somebody out there might offer you something. It's what we receive from others, the 8th house. And I don't want you to pass up that opportunity, because by engaging in that opportunity, this grand trine gets activated and you get liberated. You experience maybe some form of enlightenment, some wisdom that comes to you, some freedom that comes to your soul by taking up that opportunity. Also, an opportunity might arise for you to perhaps connect with some kind of mystical healer, an astrologer, a shaman, a Reiki practitioner, a psychologist, an energy healer of some description. These are where opportunities may lie. So if you've been thinking about connecting with somebody who works with occult energies, then don't hesitate. Make the most of that opportunity. You will get great information, great support, great wisdom that'll come through and be channeled through by that person. Now also, Aries, there could be some fast changes. The energy of the 8th house is quick, 180-degree turns around in life, dramatic reversals in life. That may happen for you, that sets you free, that sets your soul free, that gets you out of a rut, that changes everything for the good when the 8th house is activated in this way by a beautiful, benevolent grand trine. So the change is for the best, the change is for the good. Remember that. If things feel a little bit crazy because they're changing so fast, remember it's for the good, for the blessing, for the benefit. Change isn't always bad. A lot of people like to just stay in their same old routine. They drive the same way to work every day. They eat the same breakfast. Nothing changes. Change is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it shakes us out of a rut so that we live life with more joy, more renewal, more upliftment, more inspiration. And so this is what a grand trine can do, can shake you out of a rut to be living a more inspired life. Lovely energy for our beautiful Aries friends. Now, intimacy issues may come to the surface during this period. If they do, they are designed for you to address them, not run away from them, to make peace with any issues around intimacy, any psychological hang-ups you have around intimacy, any self-sabotaging behaviors around intimacy, so that you can set your soul free. That's what I'm seeing for my Aries friends. Aries, I would love to support your journey. If you're struggling right now and trying to make sense of things, come and have a live session with me. The link's in the description below. Moving on to Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus moon. Well, this beautiful grand trine energy forming for the next 2 months is occurring between the Arthur houses, which is the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th houses in the horoscope. And sorry, not the Arthur houses, the karma houses. So when we have activation of karma houses in the horoscope, we focus on going after our desires. And that is where the energy is leading you over the next 2 months. To focus on what you want out of life, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. When a grand trine occurs in karma houses, it indicates a powerful and often harmonious connection and manifestation of our dreams and desires, and also manifestation of connection and relationships too. These are the social houses. So my friends, my Taurus friends, opportunities might come your way through 7th house things over the next month because of the personal planets that are forming. These are personal planets, all of these ones here, forming an aspect to the 2 interpersonal planets by a very benevolent couple of trines here. So what does this mean? Well, there might be opportunities to connect, to partner, to collaborate with other people. So that could be, to engage with an audience, to grow your clients. There could be an opportunity for you to meet somebody who you can collaborate with on a project at work, or maybe on a business idea together, to collaborate with somebody in maybe a more intimate way. Maybe you meet somebody that you think this could be a serious connection, a serious relationship. You would need a lot of activation in your personal chart for that to happen, but this would certainly feed in benevolently to that. You might get opportunities to change your perceptions of other people, to perceive other people with more love, more benevolence now, as I mentioned in my introduction, by meeting with people in a live capacity, my whole you're changing my thoughts about people in the world. I've been so cynical after all the last COVID years and so forth, that meeting with people live is absolutely shaking my tree with regard to the perception I have of humanity. And it's such a gift and it's such a blessing. Well, this is exactly what might be happening for you over the next 2 months, Taurus. Your perception of people will be changing for the better because of the encounters that you have. The 7th house is also what we attract from other people. And my beautiful Taurus friends, you will be attracting kindness from other people, benevolence from other people, balance from other people, thoughtfulness from other people, maybe even politeness and manners, let's say, from other people as well. 7th house energy. You're bringing in good grand trine energy into your life from others right now. There might be also a capacity for you to experience opportunities for greater fairness and justice over the next 2 months. If you've been dealing with something in your life that felt unjust, out of control, not fair, not right, well, in comes for our Taurus people a opportunity for things to right themselves, to balance out, to create a more harmonious circumstance. Wonderful energy. My beautiful Taurus friends, you may also have an opportunity for to sign a contract or make some sort of commitment or promise or vow that is going to bless you ultimately going forward into the long term. If you sign or commit to something over the next 2 months, this energy is at play, especially on the dates that I gave you in the introduction to this video. This is a house of all legalities, including relationship ones, and that does include divorce legalities. So for some of you Taurus people who may have been going through a divorce or dealing with the upheavals that divorce causes, this grand trine can actually activate to bless the circumstances that you're dealing with in your divorce situation. So you might find that the proceedings become easier, or a date is finally set to finalize something, or whatever kind of legal argy-bargy that you're dealing with. You might be a divorce or whatever. Any legalities that are challenging could actually get an easier road now for the next 2 months, and maybe even have an easy outcome. Prayers for all of you in that circumstance that you get the outcome you hope for if you're in a legal situation. Now also, the 7th house has to do with the experts that we hire. It is the 10th house from the 10th. So business professionals who are at the top of their game, 7th house energy. And of course, with a grand trine forming here, it is a great time to hire a business professional who's at the top of the tree for whatever you need them for. That may be an opportunity that blesses your life ultimately going forward. So Taurus, I would love to support you in your life journey if you're struggling right now or trying to make sense of things. If you would like to book a session with me, there is a link in the description below that will take you to my website, and I'd love to connect in person with you there. And now moving to Gemini. Gemini rising, Gemini sun, and Gemini moon people. Well, for Gemini people, we've got this wonderful grand trine energy forming between the water houses, which are the Arthur houses in a Gemini chart, 2, 6, and 10. And when we have the Arthur houses being triggered, the focus in a grand trine like this, the focus becomes on wealth and material success over the next month. So when a grand trine occurs in Arthur houses, we find manifestation occurs naturally in terms of material success. It flows easier. Financial independence starts to manifest for us. We get a sense of security now through the work that we do. So Gemini, opportunities may come your way over the next 2 months to do with 6th house things. Why? Because this is where the personal planets are on the various dates I gave in the introduction to this video. And on those dates, a grand trine will form with the 2 interpersonal planets, Jupiter and Saturn. So what are these opportunities of a 6th house nature that we can expect over the next 2 months as a Gemini person? Well, you're going to be able to use your skills, your talents, your abilities to make good money. So there might be opportunities for you to do so over the next 2 months. Maybe somebody invites you to give an instructional workshop at one of their retreats or something. Fantastic. Because to use your skills to make money is a 6th house thing, because it's the 2nd house, the innate talents that we possess are the 5th house energy, and this is the 2nd house from the 5th, to make money from our innate talents and gifts, the things that come naturally to us, the things that come easily to us, not the talents we have to cultivate. That's 3rd house. The higher intelligence or the creative intelligence that we naturally have is a 5th house energy. And 1, 2 from the 5th house to make money from these things. That's the 6th house. So there's opportunities to do so that are coming your way over the next 2 months. This is also where things can be out of balance, the 6th house, where maybe there's toxicity in our life. We need to purge and cleanse our body. Maybe we need to heal something in our body or our daily routine or our life or our diet or our exercise routine. We need to balance our body, our mind, and our spirit, because this is the house of imbalance. Well, I tell you what, a grand trine occurring with the 6th house activation means you are going to be able to balance things. Your health can improve. Your mind, body, spirit connection can feel in alignment right now. What you're eating is going to be better for you right now. So eat consciously about what you eat and avoid toxic foods, because this energy is here to help build your body up and bless your body through what you eat. Getting in alignment with a good exercise routine or daily habits that you need is easier now with the grand trine occurring here. It just happens not without your effort, because we still need to put action in, but you get good results. You enjoy the process. You appreciate the exercise that you're doing, or you feel better after it, or by eating a certain diet, you feel, like reinvigorated, more alive, Gemini. This is a house of conflicts, and so it can represent legal cases, legal conflicts. When you're going head to head with somebody who is a visible enemy, let's say, in your life. With a grand trine forming here, you're going to have greater capacity to manage that conflict, be it legal, be it with someone at work, be it with somebody who's making life hell for you. You're going to have a greater capacity to sort it out, to fix it, to manage it, or to finish that conflict in some way. This 6th house also has to do with hard work and working hard. So you're going to be more inclined to want to work. Now, that mightn't sound very appealing to some people, but I'm a workaholic. I can't stop. I can't help myself. I take on far too much, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It really floats my boat. Working, doing all the astrological work that I do, absolutely makes me shine, makes my soul sing. And that's what it's going to feel like for you. You'll find some kind of work that you do every day that just makes your heart sing. Maybe you'll be put on a project at work that you really love, that you've been wishing you could sink your teeth into, and you just live for it over the next 2 months. That kind of thing. Also, the conditions and nature of our workplace are sixth house energy, and with a grand trine forming here, the conditions and nature of your workplace can improve. I've been watching Better Call Saul with the series with my family, and loving it, but we're only 2 seasons in, and currently Saul is operating his workplace from the back of the nail salon, when he did have the opportunity to work at a very high-end law firm. I don't want to give any spoilers away about the series, but what we can see with this grand trine forming is the contrast between one place of work, working in the back of the nail salon in a vacant office there, to working in a high-end law firm. This grand trine could bring about some really substantial change for the better in the conditions and nature of your workplace. Now, what else is this all about? Well, the sixth house is our digestive system. And with a grand trine forming here, one thing that we can apply to our lives that can help our digestive system is practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is a terrific help for digestive issues. And forgiveness comes easier when there's a grand trine like this forming in water signs. So Gemini, if there's someone you need to forgive, doesn't mean you have to go and say sorry to them in person. You can just in your soul forgive them, because forgiveness is not necessarily about the dynamic between you and another person. It's about how you feel about the situation, about the other person. Forgiveness is healing for the self, So forgive what someone has done to you and set your soul free, and it will help with digestive issues and come a lot easier. That freedom that forgiveness brings will come a lot easier under this grand trine energy. And finally, the sixth house is to clean. You might need to clean out your cupboards, your wardrobe, your house, your pantry, and get your life back on track. Well, let me just say, it comes easy now. You're going to want to clean. You're going to want to reorganize. You're going to want to take that big load to the tip or to the Salvation Army donation bin. You will be totally engaged with doing that. Sometimes we think about it and we're like, oh, I just can't face cleaning out the garage. Oh my God, it's such an enormous job. This energy, you're going to be like, bring it on. Let's get it sorted. I want a clean, uncluttered life. Let's do it. So go sixth house opportunity. And remember, in Feng Shui, if you clean your environment and restructure or reorganize your environment for the better, the energy flows differently in your life. So clean your environment, clean up your energy. Bonus. Now, my beautiful Gemini friends, I just want to say that I would love to support you on your journey. If you are struggling and trying to make sense of things right now, you can just simply book a live session with me by going to my website. The link is in the description below. Thank you, my lovely Geminis. Moving along, we're going to now move to Cancer. Cancer rising, Cancer sun, and Cancer moon people. Well, the energy of this grand trine for Cancer people is very beautiful, and it's forming in the Dharma houses for Cancer people. That's houses 1, 5, and 9. The focus is on life purpose and meaning for you over the next 2 months, Cancer. When a grand trine occurs in the Dharma houses, we have an exceptionally fortunate astrological configuration that aligns our lives to purpose, to meaning. In other words, we find our Dharma. Life gets luckier, and there is a natural, unforced feeling of being on the right path at last, and the universe is supporting you and giving you the affirmation that this is the road for you. I love this energy. You're very lucky, Cancer. So, opportunities for Cancer people may come your way through fifth house things over the next month, because this is where each personal planet on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video are going to form an aspect, a true trinal aspect with the 2 interpersonal planets by trine. So this grand trine will be felt in the fifth house. This is the house of fun. You're going to get opportunities to play more, to have more fun, to go out and enjoy life, whatever you consider fun. If you've got strong Pisces energy as well as Cancer energy, you might consider hanging out in a quiet library to be fun. You might get lots of opportunities to do that. If you're, as a Cancer rising person, you might consider hanging out at home to be your source of fun. So, whatever is your source of fun is going to be what unfolds for you, more fun in that area. You're going to enjoy life more. Life is going to feel more happy, more jovial. The fifth house is what makes us want to be alive, what we love, our ability to feel love and enjoy the things we love. So for Cancer people, my goodness, what a lovely energy. Life is going to feel better, Cancer. Life is going to feel like there is a silver lining around that cloud. Joy and exhilaration through maybe, you go out for a night with the girls, or a weekend away with the boys, and it's just what your soul needed to lift you out of the doldrums, to give you more happiness, to relight the fire of God within you, my Cancer friends. So games, playing, fun, parties, dressing up for a good time, the opportunities for these things may come to you over the next 2 months. And as such, I don't want you to poo-poo those things, and to say, I don't have time, I have to work, I've got to look after my children. Oh, no. Make time for it. Remember, grand trines require action to milk it, to get the results out of it. And if you're just like, oh no, well, tough luck to you then. You're going to miss the opportunity, aren't you, Cancer? So make it a priority to have fun, or this grand trine energy will pass you by. And all the blessing that it might ultimately bring you will pass you by. You decide that you're going to stay home and, catch up on, the ironing or something instead of going out with your girlfriends one night. You may miss the love of your life who was going to be at that club with your girlfriends. Hello. Also, fifth house energy is our self-expression. So, Cancer, this is going to be a couple of months where you get the opportunity to express yourself, to really shine, to tap into your talents and your true innate intelligence. The things you don't have to work hard at are fifth house things. And so, that could be drawing, it could be sewing, it could be playing music, whatever it is that just comes naturally to you that you love, you're going to get the chance to really shine in those areas. Maybe you're going to step on stage and have your chance to sing for the first time in public. Maybe you're going to get a chance to be in a theatre production that you've always dreamed of being in. Maybe you're going to get a chance to exhibit that artwork at a wonderful local gallery. Something wonderful that affirms and solidifies your natural talents can happen for you in the next 2 months. How wonderful. Excuse me. And of course, this is the house of love affairs and romance. That could be on the cards for our lovely Cancer people. Something to feel excited about if that's what you're looking for. And if you're in a relationship, you might find that this couple of months brings you an opportunity to love your partner more, to go deeper with your intimacy and deeper with your care and the romance in your existing relationship. This is a lucky house, but it really does depend on your own natal chart just whether luck can be triggered here. If you happen to have your ascendant degree at 25 degrees of Cancer, then it is likely, or ascendant sun or moon at 25 degrees of Cancer, then you have a chance to be more lucky than those who do not have their ascendant sun or moon at that degree. And by lucky, I mean, you take a risk and it pays off. You buy a raffle ticket and you actually win the meat tray at the local club raffle. You take an opportunity that is presented to you, even though it seems like, I don't know if this will work or not, and it actually goes in your favor. So luck can be on your side at this time. Now, I'm not saying put everything you own on horse number 5. Don't do that. I might have Jupiter rising in my first house, but I'm not the hugest fan of gambling. I would suggest instead, act with caution, put money on horse number 5 if you want to, but don't put your life savings on it. Let's keep some perspective, all right? But you may do very well out of horse number 5. Now, also, this is a house of changes in career because it's the 8th house from the 10th. So many of you Cancer people who are thinking about, okay, this career isn't floating my boat anymore. I'm sick of the corporate ladder. I really want something that sets my soul on fire. This grand trine can make the adjustment to a new career a lot easier. It can make the redirectioning of life a lot easier, and a change in career or a reinvention of career or a renovation of your career or a reversal in your career come in easily and with support from the universe. So that's some good news too. Now, make sure, I'll just reiterate the joy and happiness component, my beautiful Cancer friends, of this placement, because this is where opportunity lies. You know, we get burnt out and exhausted and tired when we don't have enough joy and happiness in our life. So what brings you joy and happiness? Think about it, Cancer. Write it down. What are the 5 things that make you the most happy in life? Focus on those things over the next 2 months, and your whole life may change for the better. Now, I would love to support you, my Cancer friends, on your journey. If you're struggling and trying to make sense of things right now, you can simply book a live session reading with me by going to my website at the description or the link in the description below. A beautiful Leo, it is your turn for your all signs breakdown reading if you are Leo rising, sun, or moon people. And the energy of this magnificent water grand trine is occurring for Leo in the moksha houses 4, 8, and 12. So the focus for the next month, or 2 actually, is on liberating your soul. In Vedic astrology, a moksha grand trine signifies strong, harmonious, but potentially life-changing and somewhat challenging spiritual growth towards a feeling of liberation. Now, the 4th house represents inner happiness and the home. The 8th house represents spiritual transformation and hidden matters. Excuse me. And the 12th house represents final liberation and spiritual knowledge. So it's less about material and worldly events per se, and more about circumstances, Leo, that free you from your own self-sabotaging behaviors or obstacles within you that stand in the way of your success. Also, liberation and moksha is about secrets that you've been keeping, or secrets that have been kept from you that come to the surface now and set you free. And it's also about your past and your past behaviors or approaches to things or attitudes about things that are now wiped clean and you're given a fresh slate to start over. Very exciting, Leo. So Leo, opportunities might come your way for 4th house things to manifest greater in your life over the next month, as each of the personal planets is forming an aspect on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video. On those dates, these personal planets will be forming aspects by trine to the interpersonal planets and creating a grand trine with Jupiter and Saturn. Very exciting. So Leo, what do these opportunities look like? Well, let's start with one of the key moksha elements of the 4th house, and that is your emotional core strength, your life foundation, the emotions that make up the basis of who you are. They are going to be enhanced, blessed, sensitized, but for the greater good. You're going to be able to tune into your emotions and listen to your gut, your intuition, and allow it to guide you. You're going to know where you should be, what should unfold, where you need to take your life in a way that you haven't before, because your inner gut sense of things, your innate knowing, is on par. Your intuition is coming to your rescue now. So listen to your heart, listen to your feelings, give it credence, honor what you feel at this time. You know, the 4th house is about how comfortable we are in our life, our ability to know safety, security, stability, belonging, protection. With a grand trine forming with a focus on the 4th house, you are going to be more comfortable in life. I'm very happy to tell you this, Leo. You're going to know greater safety, greater security, greater stability, greater protection from the universe. What happens now over the next 2 months may actually shore you up in a sense of stability for the future going ahead. Remember, this is also going to be very active over the coming 2026, 2027 as this grand trine forms again and again. But for the next 2 months, you are creating more safety and security and stability in your life. You can also develop a sense of belonging. You might find your tribe as a result of this grand trine energy at this time. The people that you really connect with, the people that feel like family to you may eventuate in your life. You know, I haven't felt at home in this town ever since I moved here in 2016, a long time ago. And I would long for the ability to move to a town, to a community, to a locale that feels like, oh, people get me. We're on the same page. We think the same, politically or world events wise or spiritually, we are heading in the same direction. I just want to find my tribe, This is an energy that can actually manifest that for us going forward, finding your people. Love this energy, my beautiful Leos. The fourth house is also our roots, where we come from. You might find that there is a significant connection with your past that occurs over the next 2 months. And of course, all of these houses, 12th, 8th, and the 4th, have to do with clearing away things in our past that were not helping us. So it could be an old friendship that goes, or it could be, or changes for the better. Some sort of something about where we're from that we get a different perspective about. We start to understand how and why our parents were the way they were and how that affected us, for better or worse. And understanding gives us power. We understand our lineage, maybe we take a trip even to the country that our grandmother came from, and we visit that country and learn about our heritage and our roots and lineage, and it changes our perspective and it changes our life and it helps us understand. All of this, revisiting our past, revisiting our family tree, understanding the journey of our family lineage can be very, very empowering over the next 2 months. The 4th house, Leo, also corresponds to our actual surroundings, the people in our household, and the people that we want to be surrounded by in life, as well as the type of house we want to live in. Never has there been a better time, Leo, for you to find your dream home, to build your dream home, or to, if you're really lucky, win that house lottery that you've been longing to win for such a long time. Real estate, residences, land, property can actually start to manifest in a beautiful way. Now, this is a grand trine, so the energy can come to you, but only if you take action. Like if you're sitting at home and not looking at the real estate pages on the internet, not visiting the local real estate agents, not paying attention, then it won't come to you. You have to make the effort. If you want to find your dream home, you've got to look for it, but you may just find it under this energy, and it may be at a price you can easily afford. So start looking if you've always wanted that dream home. Buy that house lottery ticket, my Leo friends. Now is your time, potentially. Also gardening, furnishing your home, farming, growing your own fruits and vegetables, maybe doing some home aquaculture or chickens or whatever. This is all 4th house stuff. And so it is a time when you might decide, you know what, I'm going to put that chicken coop in the backyard and we're going to have homegrown eggs, every day from our chickens, and you can actually find that it is a blessing going forward in your life, financially, economically, materially, that you start to do some sort of home farming or gardening. Even if you're not into self-sufficient gardening, you might find that through gardening, you you start growing beautiful flowers, and you find that you can just bless people's lives through giving these flowers away to people when they're struggling with something or feeling down, or you go to visit someone, catch up with them, and you bring them a bunch of your beautiful flowers. You can be a source of nurturance to others, perhaps through your gardening right now as well. Or some sort of other hospitality, because 4th house is hospitality. You might bake a cake for someone, and maybe your next door neighbor or a new neighbor moves in, you bake them a cake or whatever, take a casserole over to someone who's sick. Any of those hospitality opportunities that may arise can actually be a blessing for you going forward into the long term, because let's say they've been triggered by the grand trine energy. Jupiter is long term, Saturn is long term. And by practicing hospitality, it is an opportunity for you to build benevolence, flourishing and blessing in your life in the long term. So don't pass those opportunities to do a kind, hospitable deed for someone during the next 2 months. Have someone over for dinner. Bake that casserole or that cake for the neighbor in need. Also, this is the house of our parents. The more, shall we say, placid parent, not the parent that wears the pants. Sometimes that's the mother, but sometimes it's the father. And so there might be an opportunity for you to connect, to bless, to spend time with, to get to know, to re-establish a connection that may have fallen apart with that particular parent. It might also bring blessing for you to become a parent, to be a parent, to do better at parenting, to reshape how you're parenting. This grand trine can bring you an opportunity in one of those areas of life as well. Now, my beautiful, wonderful Leo friends, I would love to support you on your life journey if you're struggling right now or if you're trying to make sense of things. All you've got to do is go to my website, links in the description below, and book a live session with me. And moving along to lovely Virgo rising, sun or moon people. Virgo, the energy of this gorgeous water grand trine that is forming for the next 2 months is happening in karma houses, houses 3, 7, and 11. And so the focus is now to go after your desires for the next month. When a grand trine occurs in karma houses, it indicates a powerful and often harmonious connection with other people and also more manifestation of our desires, particularly regarding relationships and connections with others. So opportunities might come your way through third house realms over the next month as each personal planet on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video will be forming an aspect to the 2 interpersonal planets by trine. Okay, so what does this mean? Opportunities for you to take maybe a short trip, an exploration of the area in which you live in. You might get a chance to have a, weekend away at a B&B or something like that. Maybe you win a prize that, looks like, a dinner at a neighboring town's fabulous restaurant or something. Movement and exploring and sort of localized travel is on the cards for you in a way that feels really good and really beneficial. The third house is also what we think about and where our mind goes. And of course, with this lovely energy, if you've been someone who's been suffering from, say, anxiety or depression, mental trouble, mental restlessness, mental hang-ups, this grand trine energy can see that released, can see that part of you freed, at least for the next 2 months. And what you do with your mind in the next 2 months, where you direct your mind in the next 2 months, will set things up for greater benevolence in the coming couple of years. So focus your mind. We've got to take action even with a grand trine. It doesn't just necessarily land in our lap, but we need to focus our mind onto what is good, what is right, what is pure, what is lovely. Now, some people can handle looking at what's going on in the world and waking up to what is going on in the world, and they can handle it. Yes, it's shocking. Yes, it's scary, but they don't get depressed by it or they don't get anxious by it. But not everybody's like that. Some of us are a bit more sensitive to those sorts of things. And so if that's you, with this grand trine energy, I'd spend more time on your Pinterest page than I would on social media looking at, what's happening in Gaza or whatever. It doesn't mean ignore what's happening in Gaza. We should be speaking up for that. We should be standing up for what is happening in the world right now and aligning with righteousness. But if you're someone who that sort of thing is going to send you spiraling into, the depths of despair, then focus your mind onto beautiful things that uplift, things that inspire, things that are good and pure and lovely. This grand trine will use that focus of your mind to create a more joyful state of being for you. Use this energy to your advantage, my friends. Also, the third house has to do with relatives and neighbors, the neighborhood that we live in. And there could be opportunities for you to connect in happy ways with your neighborhood or your neighbors. Maybe there's an opportunity for for you to get together for a Halloween celebration or a Thanksgiving celebration in the next 2 months with your neighborhood. And that could really solidify connection and belonging that we're going to need to lean on over the coming years. So don't pass up an opportunity to form those bonds and to connect with the people around you in your neighborhood or your immediate town vicinity. You have the opportunity to develop friendships, excuse me, but not just any old friendships, friendships that feel like siblings, friendships that feel close with this energy. So take that opportunity. If you need to reach out to a friend who you want to go to a deeper level with, go and have coffee together, go to the movies together, go for that hike together, whatever it is that helps you move into the next level with that friendship. The third house has to do with transactions and buying and selling, our ability to sell something. And of course, with the Grand Trine forming here, it's time to sell, my friends. You can absolutely go for it. If you have been, if you've got a book that you've written, well, now's the time to market it, advertise it, promote it, sell it. You are going to do really well because of this Grand Trine energy. If you're running a small business, my beautiful Virgo friends, now is the time to promote that small business because you're going to get an increase in sales and interaction with that small business. But it won't happen unless you let people know you're there. Put some flyers around town, make posts on Facebook or whatever social media you want to use. Put an ad in the paper if that's still how you function. But let people know, communicate third house energy, and you will find that the results are really worthwhile. Grand Trine affecting your third house, especially on the dates that I gave you in the introduction. This is the house of self-made wealth and running our own business. If you've ever thought about launching a business, creating a business, establishing a business that, you get out from under the man, the corporate world, and you start to do your own thing. If you've been thinking about it, Virgo, this energy is here to help you launch that, have success with that. In fact, if you launch a business while Jupiter and Saturn are in trine, that business will go well. It will flourish, it will prosper, and it will succeed long term into the future. So this is a great time to move into that, draw up that website, get that ABN number that you need to run your business, whatever it is, go for it now. Now, my beautiful Virgo friends, I would love to support you on your journey. If you are struggling and trying to make sense of the things that are happening in your life right now, I'm here for you. And you can book your live session with me by going to my website and booking a live session. I'll see you there. Thank you, Virgo. Lovely Librans. I sound like I'm doing a reading for horrible histories, don't I? Lovely Librans. Well, for Librans, the Arthur houses are getting triggered by this grand water trine. The Arthur houses are houses 2, 6, and 10. And the focus with Arthur houses in a grand trine situation is on wealth and material success over the next 2 months. Hooray! Who wouldn't want to be a Libran right now? When a grand trine occurs in these houses, we find that material manifestation occurs naturally for us. It comes to us. We can create more financial independence, and we can create a sense of security through the work that we're doing to create resources in the world. So opportunities might come your way, Libra, through second house things over the next month or two, as each personal planet lines up on the dates I gave you in the intro to this video to form a water grand trine with Saturn and Jupiter, the interpersonal planets. So what does this mean? Opportunities might come to you to acquire more valuable items, clothing, cars, resources, homes, things that we need to support our body's journey through life. We need shelter, we need food, we need clothing, we need warmth, we need cooling, we need all sorts of things. And you may actually have the opportunity to acquire more of those resources that we need for life over the next 2 months. So, you might be spending over the next 2 months, but it's going to be an easy spend because you've got the money to do so. Also, this is a house of acquiring things that we consider are valuable. Maybe you've got a collection of Barbie dolls and you just need Wonder Woman to make your pop culture Barbie doll collection complete. So what do? You find that you find that missing Wonder Woman Barbie doll that you need, and lo and behold, your collection is complete. Whatever you find that is valuable, you can actually, this grand trine energy will give you the resources to invest in that, or will lead you to that item that's going to complete your collection, your valuable, whatever it happens to be. What do you really want to own? That's often seen from the second house as well. And the grand trine forming here might reveal to you what it is that you really want to possess, you really want to own, you know. We live in a material world, and that creates all sorts of wants and desires. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of being a human on the planet. Maybe you've wanted to have a Cedrus deodora tree in your backyard for years, but you've just never found the right one. Lo and behold, this energy can bring it to you. And you may find, okay, there's something missing from, let's say, my garden or my collection or whatever it is. You don't know quite what it is that's going to make that garden look just the way you want it to. You find out under this grand trine energy what it is you really need to complete something, to make something really be the way you want it to be. You know, a pair of shoes for your cupboard, or that tree for your garden, or that appliance for your kitchen. What it is that, you know, you're going to find out what it is that you really need to sort of complete the picture in some way, shape or form. This is also a house of stability and security, I'm happy to say, Librans. And of course, with a minor grand trine triggering the second house, you're going to have so many opportunities to create more stability and security in your world right now in a material sense. You're going to have enough money. You're going to create enough money to have that bank account for that rainy day. You know, when something hits the fan, you know you've got the resources there to sort it all out. This is what stability is. This is what security is. I have more than enough to meet my needs. And so that could be a mantra for you over the next 2 months, Libra. I thank you, universe, that I have more than enough to meet my needs. That's a wonderful mantra. I'm a Libra and I'm going to start applying that to my life over the next 2 months. You can attract good material things to you, material things that make life easier. Maybe you've had a car that's falling apart. The grand trine comes in and affects your second house of resources, and somebody, you know, maybe grandma in her will leaves you her wonderful little Miata or something, and suddenly you've got a gorgeous little car to drive around in. So resources come to us now. Now, not only that, yes, resources can come to us and are blessed to flow to us with the grand trine, but we also need to take action wherever this energy falls. So in the case of Librans, you know, you need to go after your money and your resources. You need to make it happen. You need to put the effort in, and you will get the rewards. It will come to you. So don't be afraid to step out, to take a risk, to be seen, to speak up, to, you know, put that, I don't know, product you're selling out there, or to, you know, I'm a Libran moon, to sort of promote your work. Because, you know, by offering whatever it is that you do to make resources to the world, the engagement is going to be there with this minor and this grand trine. I keep saying minor grand trine. It is a grand water trine. It's fabulous. This is also the house that has to do with our face, teeth, hair, and voice. Hopefully this grand trine helps me with my voice and the phlegm that's been sitting on my lungs for months now, and gets rid of all that. And so you might have more success with something to do with your face, your teeth, your hair, your voice. So if you've been looking at having some treatment, or getting caps on your teeth, or getting a change of hairstyle, if you need your voice to be helped out and enhanced at all, this grand water trine is there at your beck and call. So it's a good time to book in for services that have to do with face, teeth, hair, voice, etc. This is also the house that tells us what type of work we need to do to succeed in making money. It's not the work we do that, you know, fulfills our life meaning and our life purpose. It's not the work we do that necessarily pays the bills. It's the work that we do that helps us make money. So this grand trine energy focused on the second house for Librans can actually reveal to you, show you what it is you need to put your effort and energy into to make more money in life. So keep your eyes peeled, keep a journal handy, listen to what the universe is saying, trust your gut, your intuition, because it's going to show you some things over the next 2 months that are going to move you forward in a blessed way. Now, my beautiful Libran friends, I'd love to support you on your journey. If you're struggling or trying to make sense of things in your life right now, all you need to do is book your live session with me at the website, links in the description below, and let's do a session and look at what's happening in your astrology. Thank you, Libra. Excuse my coughing. Moving on to Scorpio rising, sun or moon people. Well, for Scorpio people, the energy of the grand water trine is happening in the Dharma houses. Lovely, lovely, Scorpio. This is houses 1, 5, and 9. And so the focus for Scorpios is on life purpose and meaning over the next 2 months. When a grand trine occurs in Dharma houses, we have an exceptionally fortunate astrological configuration that aligns our lives to something purposeful, to something meaningful, to something that we value. In other words, we find our Dharma. Life gets luckier. And there's a natural, unforced feeling of being on the right path at last, Scorpio. A lovely, benevolent energy that only happens twice in any 20-year period. And this time, it's blessing you personally. So opportunities are going to come to Scorpio people through first house things over the next month, because each personal planet that is going to be forming this grand trine with Jupiter and Saturn on the dates that I gave you in the intro to this video is going to create this grand water trine with the interpersonal planets. So personal planets and interpersonal planets forming a grand trine. This means the first house is going to be blessed. What is going to be blessed? What opportunities are going to arise? Well, opportunities for greater health and vitality, opportunities for physical success, physical, maybe you want to lose weight. You're going to have success with that now. Maybe you want to heal, maybe a foot that hasn't been working properly or whatever it happens to be, Scorpio. And you find the right healer that helps you get your feet back on track, or if Scorpio energy, it could be, genitalia that are, up to no good or something, or reproductive organs that are causing you trouble. You find the right source of help and healing for that now. So the physical effects of this grand trine pertain to healing, release, bodily health, weight, success, all that kind of thing. Lovely, lovely energy. Also, the first house is the first impressions that we give, our aura, our energy. And with this wonderful grand trine forming, affecting your first house, you are going to have great presence over the next 2 months. People are going to perceive you to be a person of great charisma, or great beauty, or great intrigue, or great something about your energy that is a compulsive thing to want to be around. So use this magnetism to your great advantage, Scorpio. Apply for that promotion. Approach that person you're interested in. Go for that home loan. Your energy is magnetizing. Your energy is powerful over the next 2 months, especially on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video, because this energy activates your charisma, your personality, your aura, your energy in the best possible way. Use it to your advantage, Scorpio. The time is now. Now, our behaviors and our attitudes are also connected to first house energy. And for Scorpio people, I feel that this means that you're going to have a really upbeat attitude, a positive attitude, a glass half full attitude over the next couple of months. So this is great. You're going to see things through rose-colored lenses. Now, that doesn't mean disillusionment or, thinking things are better than what they are. You are still grounded. Saturn is involved in this grand trine, but you're going to see things for the best. And this can be a blessing, because we don't get, it's vibrational, isn't it? If we're seeing things through glass half full, we attract circumstances that are glass half full circumstances. The opposite is true. If we are seeing, oh, well, this sucks and I hate this and boo-hoo, glass half empty kind of attitudes and behaviors, that's what we attract more of into our life. Vibration, like attracts like. So, my dear darling friends, this is an energy that can attract more luck into your life because your attitude is in the right place and vibrating at a high frequency. Also, the first house tells us what motivates us. And for many of you, it's going to be anything of a water-based nature. Emotional things will motivate you. Spiritual things will motivate you. Feeling things will motivate you. Intuition and sort of psychic kind of even occult things, like I said, tapping into shamanism or spirituality can really motivate you now. Water energy is that feeling, that intuitive side of us, receptive side of us as well. The mask we wear is a first house thing. The presence that we present. So you might be a certain person at home and in private, but this grand water trine is going to make you a certain type of person in public, or give the impression of you being a certain type of person in public. And so people are going to, when they first meet you, think of you as a very benevolent, gentle, blessed kind of person. This grand trine energy is who you are going to be for the next 2 months, who people are going to perceive you to be. So you can really align with this energy, live this energy, be this energy, and find that life is luckier, more blessed, more helpful to your journey right now. It's also, the first house is a house of initiation, starting new things, beginning new things. And at some point you are going to have, and I think it's in late October, I spoke about it in the intro, but the time and date escapes me now. But Mars is your ruler. And there's also going to be a new moon in your sign, making a formation of this grand trine over the next couple of months. So especially when Mars, your first house lord, makes this grand trine, it's going to be an empowered time for you to start new things, turn over new leaves in life, present yourself afresh to the world, initiate some kind of new life beginning that will change everything going forward for you in the most benevolent, blessed way. Maybe you decide to move to a different country. Maybe you decide to change jobs. Maybe you decide to change your image and throw out all the clothes in your cupboard and buy a whole lot of new ones to give yourself a fresh image and a fresh start. All of these things are great momentums forward, whatever your gut is telling you to do at this time, because this is a very empowered season for our Scorpio friends. With that in mind, my Scorpio friends, I would love to support you on your journey if you're struggling and trying to make sense of things. You can book a live session reading with me at my website by going to the link in the description below. I would love to meet with you and get to know you better. Thank you, Scorpio. Moving along to Sagittarius, rising sun or moon people. For our Saggy people, we have a grand water trine forming. And for you guys, it's forming in the moksha houses. That's houses 4, 8, and 12. When we have a moksha grand water trine, the focus for the next 2 months will be on liberating your soul, setting yourself free. And I know many of you Sagittarius people have felt like you need to break free. This is the energy that's going to make it so much easier to do so. In Vedic astrology, a moksha grand trine signifies a strong, harmonious, but in some ways maybe potentially challenging, because it's going to require a lot of change, although Sagittarius will probably have the easiest path of all the fire signs for this energy, because it's a mutable sign. Change comes easy to Sagittarius people. So there's a strong, as I said, harmonious, but challenging, unless you... challenging for people who don't like change, path towards liberation now. The 4th house represents inner happiness and our home life. The 8th house represents spiritual transformation and hidden matters. And the 12th house represents final liberation and spiritual knowledge. So it's less about material and worldly events. It's more about circumstances that will occur in your life that free you from whatever blockage has been occurring, whatever self-sabotaging behaviors you've been buying into, whatever secrets that you've had or that someone else has had about you that come to the surface and set you free. It's about the past being wiped clean and the universe giving you a fresh start, a clean slate to move ahead. I'm so excited for you, Saggy. I know a lot of you need this energy right now, and that makes me happy to see it forming in your favor. So opportunities might come your way, Sagittarius, to do with 12th house things over the next month, as each of these personal planets lines up on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video to create a grand trine with the two interpersonal planets, that's Saturn and Jupiter. So the 12th house opportunities might be dealing with your inner insecurities, your self-destructive behavior, self-denial, self-sabotaging. You are going to have the opportunity to take responsibility for these behaviors and overcome them now. It's going to be easy to overcome them. The universe is going to give you abundant opportunities to put your self-sabotaging, destructive behaviors aside and leave them aside forever. You know, maybe you're a procrastinator, Sagittarius. And you don't get on with the job when you need to get on with the job, and then you're in a panic when the rubber hits the road, or the shit hits the fan. Well, there's a destructive behavior that the universe might give you the opportunity to overcome in the next 2 months. Also, any challenging behaviors from the past. Maybe you had a difficult childhood and it's really hard for you to break out of those behavioral patterns from your childhood that are now causing trouble in your life. Maybe you've got an addiction to whatever it may be. Could be chocolate, could be alcohol, could be an addiction to the gym that just goes too far and your body's exhausted. Whatever you're addicted to, or behaviors from the past that are causing you problems, this comes in and sets you free. This wonderful grand trine allows you to get life on track, and you finish that addiction and it never comes back to haunt you again. The angels, the ancestors, the higher dimensions are on your side, Sagittarius, with this. Absolutely, this grand trine means that higher beings are pulling the strings, putting you in the place you need to be. So this could be, like, maybe you've been unemployed for a time, Sagittarius, and you need employment. Well, here come the angels pulling the strings to make you encounter that right person on the train in the morning that's like, gets talking to you, really hits it off, owns their own company and says, hey, look, I really need a guy like you in my company. Like, come on in. Something happens. It's fated. It is synchronistic. It's not, oh, here I go with my millionth job application. It is the universe has your back and it all lines up and the jigsaw puzzle pieces fall into place. Whatever the circumstance may be, I've given you the illustration of somebody needing a job. It could be anything. It could be, the universe needs to line things up so that you can meet the love of your life. It could be that the universe, the divine, the higher beings need to line things up so that you find out some piece of knowledge that sets you free from some heavy burden you've been carrying your whole life. This could take so many forms. I could sit here all day telling you the different dynamics that the angels on the other side might be shuffling around to make fate fall into place for you. This is an energy of fated, synchronistic dynamics, and there's nothing I love seeing more than the universe putting its hand into our lives and helping us get on track with what it wants us to accomplish and the lives it wants us to live for the highest, most benevolent good with a grand trine like this one. You are very blessed. And with that in mind, Sagittarius, this is a house of miracles. The 12th house is the house of miraculous occurrences. If you need a miracle in your life, start praying, start, asking the divine. It will step in. It will bring a miracle, Sagittarius, to your life because of this grand trine with the focus on the 12th house of the heavenly beings creating miracles when you need them, how you need them. Start asking and the universe will answer, Sagittarius. Now, excuse me, this is also the house of letting things go. It's a house of loss, but if you want to use probably a better terminology, the house of letting things go. Endings, finishing things up. Maybe you've been going through a time of struggle and you're jack of it. You've had a gutful. That's about to end, potentially, with this grand trine forming for you, Sagittarius. This is alchemy, the ending of an old way of being and the movement into the new. Now, it's not like the 8th house where that ending comes in hard and fast. This is infiltrating, sort of like mist coming in. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, you look around you. Oh my God, how did things change? I didn't even see it happening. But the letting go, the ending, it's done and dusted. Maybe you've been going through a divorce and it's been going on for years and you're like, I can't handle this any longer. Lo and behold, there'll be little things happening over the next 2 months that come in like mist. And you get to the end of the 2 months when this grand trine's been forming and you're like, oh, it's over. Oh my God, I didn't even see it happening. You know, I've been so heavily embedded in this trauma or this dynamic or this addiction or whatever it happens to be. And then all of a sudden I look around and it's finished and it's done and it's over. This infiltrating, letting go, endings, dissolving, if you like, of things that you no longer need in your life. And the universe says the time is done. The time is up. It's time to let go of that thing. So I love this energy. This grand trine is about letting go, losing out of our life things that you don't want and don't need anymore. It's not about loss of something that you want, that you wish would stay in your life. It's loss of what you don't want. And we all love to see those things leave our life. So my beautiful Sagittarius friends, excuse me, I would love to support your journey. If you're struggling, if you're trying to make sense of what's going on in your life, please book a session with me. I would love to connect with you. All you need to do is go to the link in the description and make a booking with me at my website. All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much. Moving along to Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon people. The energy of this beautiful grand water trine forming for the next 2 months will be impacting, for Capricorn people, the karma houses. This is house 3, 7, and 11, also known as the social houses. So when this occurs in the social houses, there's a focus on going after our desires over the next month. When a grand trine occurs in these houses, it indicates that this is a powerful time where we can create harmonious connections and also manifestation of our desires and dreams and goals, and also some solidification and manifestation of relationships as well. So an opportunity might come your way over the next 2 months that has to do with the 11th house things. And that's because the personal planets will be forming this grand trine aspect with the 2 interpersonal planets on the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video. Okay, so what does that mean for Capricorn friends? It means opportunities are going to come for you to be more profitable and gainful. You know, more financial success in the world, more remuneration from what you're putting out there into the universe as what your career or what you want to leave as a legacy. So let's say you've written a book that you dream of being a bestseller. This grand trine energy might see that book picked up by a publishing company. Or if you're self-publishing, it suddenly might get traction because maybe you get interviewed on Joe Rogan, who promotes it to his audience. So this is a time when we can become profitable and gainful through some endeavor that we've put out in the world. Wealth that we make from our contribution to the world, whatever that might happen to be for you personally, Capricorn. This is the house of our dreams and our goals, our aspirations. And a grand water trine here like this can see our dreams and goals and aspirations start to solidify, start to become concrete in reality. How wonderful, how exciting. This could see you living the life you desire, your dreams and wishes and ambitions fruiting. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody who's a Capricorn is going to win Tats Lotto and retire early. What dreams have you got for your life that will contribute to society? Remember, this is a social house. It represents society at large. What dreams have you got that will better society, that will bless society, that will be a gift to humanity? They're the dreams and goals and ambitions that are likely to flourish. Maybe you want to release start a small business, and you put your website out there and, you're going to be selling health foods or something, or nutritional advice. And that dream, goal, ambition of blessing humanity through your wisdom about nutrition and health really gets going. It really, gets traction at this time, and your website takes off and is a real hit and people are coming to you left, right and center. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Not winning Tats Lotto. This is not a house of that sort of happening. Okay, what else? This is a house of friendships, and the people who we associate with, who are motivators for us, inspirations for us, mentors for us. And so you might meet people like that at this time. You might discover that one of your friends is a real inspiration. You didn't even know it. You might find more people that you want to hang out with than ever before. It's not about finding your tribe or even your community, but it is about finding groups of people that you connect with, that inspire you, that lift you up and motivate you. There's some people on YouTube, for example, that I've come across in recent times, and I'm like, man, this guy's good. This is exactly, wow, this is awesome. And they've motivated me. I don't even know them personally. So this is what we see, the motivation, the benefactors of the 11th house. Of course, friends can be like that too. We might be creating new friendships, but you might be discovering somebody on social media, somebody on YouTube, somebody, who can do that for you through sort of internet-based means. This is the house of the internet. Also, interestingly enough, this is a house of adoption. And if you are in a position where you're wanting to adopt a child or looking to adopt a child, then this grand trine can actually be of great benefit for you in your search or finding a company that makes the process easy. I could go off on a tangent here, but I was going to say, isn't it crazy how all the wrong people seem to have easy access to children, and the people with loving hearts who want to bless children have to jump through a million hoops? What a crazy world we live in right now. But the good news is, with this grand trine forming, if you're somebody who is looking to adopt, then the process over the next 2 months can become easier and less hoops to jump through, let's say, in the best possible way. Now, also, this is the house of stepchildren. If you're somebody who has stepchildren, you might find that their lives are being blessed, that they are in a more benevolent situation because this grand trine forms in your chart. So it's blessing you, but it's also blessing them. Stepchildren, children-in-law, that kind of stuff. It's the house of ultimate healing. Why? Because it's the 6th house from the 6th. So if you are somebody who has been looking for complete liberation from a sickness or a health issue or an ongoing problem, you can find it with this grand trine forming in the 11th house, 6th from the 6th, the healing that is required, double whammy healing energy. If you're part of some sort of management of communal property, or large political group or organizational club, things can flow very smoothly with regard to that right now. The club just has a really successful time. The political party really gets some traction and momentum. The communal property that you're looking after, really flourishes or gets a lot of bookings or whatever. So that's another 11th house component. And also the 11th house has to do with, in some circles of astrology, the stock market. If you're into trading and working on the stock market or analyzing the stock market or whatever it is that you do, this could be a time of flourishing for you in that regard. So my dear and wonderful Capricorn friends, I would love to support you on your journey if you're struggling and trying to make sense of what's going on in your life right now. I'd love to have a live session talking with you. All you've got to do is go to my website and book a session. The link to that is in the description below. Thank you, beautiful Capricorns. And now, Aquarius rising, sun and moon people. Well, dear Aquarians, the energy of this amazing grand trine that's forming for the next 2 months will be taking place in the Arthur houses. This is house 2, 6, and 10. And the focus at this time is on wealth and material success for Aquarian people over the next 2 months. When a grand trine occurs in the Arthur houses, we find manifestation occurs naturally in terms of material success, financial independence, and a sense of security through the work that we do in the world. And so, for our beautiful Aquarian people, opportunities are likely to come your way through 10th house realms over the next 2 months, as each of the personal planets forms this grand trine with the 2 interpersonal planets, Saturn and Jupiter. And do check the dates I gave you in the introduction to this video, because they are the key dates when this activation will be most potent. Let's have a look. at what opportunities might come your way. Well, firstly, this is the house, it's on the parental axis. It's the house of the parent that wears the pants, the one that's in charge, so to speak. And this is an energy that might be forming to bless the parent that wears the pants. They get some sort of blessing in their life, some sort of chance to really shine, some chance to move ahead in some way. Lovely energy for that parent. Maybe a healing occurs for them. Maybe they feel liberated. Many ways this could express, but it's generally an energy of blessing for the parent that wears the pants. Also in Vedic astrology, this is the second house from the ninth, and therefore it represents the wealth of the father. So it could represent this grand trine, your father's wealth increasing, growing, becoming stronger. Any investments your father has made might be really paying off now. It's also the house of bosses and those in authority over us. So your bosses at work might suddenly be being more benevolent, more generous, more kind. Wonderful energy. They may be being blessed. Your bosses might be getting lucky break or an opportunity. Even like the company that you work for might be going through a growth period at this time. Fantastic energy as well. This is the house of our example to others, our reputation and our worldly image. So for many of you Aquarian people, your reputation, your popularity, your worldly image is going to go through the roof now in the best possible way because of this lovely minor grand trine that only occurs twice in every 20-year period, and not always in the same sign. So this is a very rare and benevolent configuration. So your leadership opportunities might grow, your public approval rating might grow, your public visibility and popularity might grow, your reputation in the world might increase for the right reasons. So I love this energy, you lucky Aquarians. What a beautiful configuration to have. This is, in some circles of astrology, the house of our aims and our goals for our career. It's not necessarily our goals to create prosperity, but that is a natural association here, but it's our goals for the work that we do in the world. So the prosperity that we get from the work we do in the world is an 11th house thing. But, you might have a goal to, be the CEO, or a goal to start your own company, or a goal to float your company on the stock exchange or something. Whatever it is that is a career goal that you have, maybe you want to release an album, write a book, do a film, whatever career goals. This is a time of blessing over the next 2 months for those goals, those dreams, those ambitions. Wonderful energy. So don't forget to take steps to make them manifest. If you sit back saying, hey, the universe is going to do it for me, yep, it's all going to happen, I'm sorry, but the universe's opportunity will pass you by. This is an energetic wave that is about to break. What are you doing to surf that wave? What are you doing to be able to ride that wave to the best of your ability? You've got to put yourself out there with that dream, that goal, that aim that you've got for growth. Whatever it is that you want to do to be successful in life, whatever you consider success to be, you've got to take action for it over the next 2 months, and those actions will be rewarded. What inspires us is often associated with the 11th house, and there's going to be a lot of inspiration around you for the next 2 months. You may encounter, benefactors or mentors, or you might stumble across a really inspirational video on YouTube. You might read a wonderful book. There's going to be so many sources of inspiration that really get the mental juices flowing in your mind and uplift your spirit and cause you to rise up in vibration. Inspiration is in abundance, so lap it up, Aquarius. You can also be an inspiration to other people now. This is the house of you being an inspiration to others as well. So put yourself out there. What you say, what you do, who you are might be more uplifting than you can ever imagine to somebody who's going through a difficult time or a struggling patch. So you'll be remembered for what you say and do, and the integrity that you show right now out there in the world, my beautiful Aquarius friends. With that in mind, Aquarius, if you are struggling and trying to make sense of things in your life, I'm here for you to support you on your journey. Come and have a live session with me where we look at your astrology. All you've got to do is go to my website and make a booking. The link's in the description below. And our beautiful Pisces. Pisces, rising, sun and moon. Thank you for waiting till last, Pisces. Well, Pisces, aren't you the lucky ones? You are having the grand trine form in the Dharma houses. This is house 1, 5, and 9. And the focus when we have a grand trine forming in Dharma houses is on life purpose and getting more meaning into our life. When a grand trine occurs in these houses, we have exceptionally fortunate astrological, this is rather an exceptionally fortunate astrological configuration that aligns our life to our purpose. The life we are living becomes the life of our dreams, the life of our aspirations. In other words, we find our Dharma. Life gets luckier, and there is a natural, unforced feeling of being on the path we want to be on. So with that in mind, Pisces, we need to be putting our dreams out there to the universe, energetically telling the universe by our vibration, by our prayers, by our meditations, what it is we want. Because lo and behold, with this Dharma grand trine, it may just be fulfilled for us over the next 2 months. Oh, thank God. Bring it on, universe. So, my dear darling Pisces, opportunities might come your way through 9th house realms over the next month, as each of these personal planets lines up to form the grand trine aspect with these 2 interpersonal planets. And so I did mention in the intro to this video what those the dates are that these are forming, and these are going to be very auspicious dates in everyone's lives. So opportunities that are 9th house related, what does this look like? Well, you're going to have ease of international travel if you're traveling, and I am. How wonderful. As a Pisces rising, I'm off to see my husband's family in San Francisco. Hello to everybody in San Francisco watching this video. And so this is perfect energy. The travel is going to be easy if you're traveling. The visa matters are going to be minuscule. Traveling is a piece of cake. Fantastic with this grand trine forming. If you're looking at relocating to another country and living in another country, or maybe even a faraway place, maybe you're moving from Perth to the Gold Coast in Australia, or maybe, I don't know, from San Francisco to Florida, wherever you're moving that's a faraway place, it's going to go easy now. It's going to happen with minimal hiccups, my beautiful friends, because of this grand trine for the next 2 months. This is also the house of our second life partner. Now, if you're married for the second time to somebody, their life is going to be blessed right now, Pisces. Yay. I'm my husband's second life partner, and he's my second life partner, so yay. I keep seeing all these lovely correspondences and I get excited. But yes, the life of our second life partner can be blessed, can flourish, can grow, can have a lucky break, can be really held by the universe. This is a house of good fortune. In Vedic astrology, it's considered to be the luckiest house in the horoscope. So if you're a second life partner, if you are with a second life partner, their life can flourish and grow and prosper. It's also the house of our grandchildren. Same deal for our grandchildren. Their lives might flourish and prosper and be lucky and be blessed right now. So use this energy and, take that risk. Step out of your comfort zone where you tell your grandchildren, I should say, to step out of their comfort zone, to take that risk. You too, Pisces, can step out of your comfort zone and take that risk, knowing that luck is on your side. This is the house of the Wheel of Fortune card. The Fortuna belongs to the 9th house. And the goddess Fortuna can be absolutely on your side with this wonderful grand trine that's forming. Okay, so this is also the house of meaning and purpose in life. If you have been trying to find a job that feels more in alignment with who you are, this is a time when it can happen. If you've been trying to start a business that is your real passion, where your heart really is and something that you're just obsessed about, well, it can actually flourish and grow at this time. It can really take off under this grand trine energy because it's going to allow you to align with your purpose and mission in life, what gives your life dharma, what gives your life meaning. You may also, Pisces, get some really serious epiphanies, those goosebump moments, those, times when our brain just seems to want to go because we realize something Maybe we've known it deep down all along, but it comes to our conscious awareness. That will happen for you over the next 2 months as well. You're going to start to see the big picture and the big patterns in life, and everything falls into place. Your understanding all comes into alignment. The puzzle pieces fall into place. Many of you might be actually changing your belief system or belief patterns at this time. And it's going to be easy to change your beliefs to more alignment with truth. More alignment with freedom. This is a very philosophical house, and you're going to find meaning in your sufferings. Maybe you've been through a really rough time. You're going to understand why, because of what happens over the next 2 months, my Pisces friends. Maybe, you're going to want to move away from sort of a religious belief and align more with a spiritual belief. Well, it's going to happen like a piece of cake. The spirit is just going to, align right for you and settle into its new groove very easily for you. The thing is, this is a key house of awareness and consciousness. And let's face it, Pisces, haven't we all been waking up to what's really going on in the world over the last 6 years or so? My gosh, this is an epiphany house, a eureka moment, a deep understanding house. So the next 2 months, not in a way that is jarring, not in a way that is uncomfortable, but in a way that is empowering, the universe is going to reveal truths to you. And you are going to step into more consciousness, more enlightenment, more understanding that is powerful, that is for your good. I read an article this week, and I'll just share this with you, Pisces. I should have shared it with everybody in the intro, but anyway, you're the lucky ones. I read an article just yesterday that was saying the evil powers that be that have their grip on the world, they are in a panic. They are in a panic because they're losing control of the narrative that they've spun the world into their web for, in some cases, hundreds of years. We are stepping out of that web, out of that narrative, and people can see the bullshit. What a great time to be alive as we realize that they are losing control. And, as I read that article, it gave me hope. It gave me a sense of we've got this. We are in the majority. The humanity on the planet is in the majority that wants righteousness, that wants kindness, that wants goodness and fairness and justice for all. And I read that and I was so uplifted. And I suddenly started seeing the world from a different perspective, or seeing the times we're living in from a different perspective. This is ninth house energy. It's the realization, or ninth house grand trine energy. It's seeing the big picture, the patterns, the future. This is a house of seeing the future and understanding it from a paradigm that is benevolent, that is blessed, that is an angelic paradigm, grand trine energy paradigm. The truth is that good will win in the end. This is a powerful thought to hone in on, Pisces. And so you may really start to spiritually align with the fact that good will win because of this grand trine and the things that you observe and the things that you read and the things that you see over the next 2 months of this beautiful grand trine energy. What else? Well, just to be a bit practical, if you're dealing with another culture or doing international buying and selling and trade, you're going to have great success. Success with that culture, success with international affairs, success, as I said, with long distance travel. If you're going to university or making an application to go to university, you will have success now. Pisces, it's time to approach that lecturer that you want to support you doing your PhD at this time. Pisces, it's time to launch that international business right now, to take things to the next level, move beyond your country and go, boundaryless, if you like, reach the whole world, visualize it, see yourself, impacting the whole world with your offering. The success on an international scale can come to you now. The success at university will come to you now. The success with other cultures can come to you now. This grand trine affects all these ninth house things. And if you're the kind of person who has a guru, as a Pisces person, I do not. I don't look to other human beings for my guidance. Too Uranian for that to be the case. But if you're the kind of person who does, this is the house of our gurus. This is the house of our, inspirational figures. You might find that they get blessed, or that they are offering thoughts and wisdom and philosophy that is an upliftment and a blessing to you right now, that gives you some insight that changes your life. Well, my beautiful Pisces friends, what a lucky energy we're entering into for 2 months, and don't we all need it? You know, I would love to support you on your journey. If you're struggling and trying to make sense of things, Pisces, simply head to the website, links in the description below, to book your live session with me, where we're going to get to connect and get to know each other. And now stay tuned, everybody, because I've made some bloopers throughout this video and they're coming up for you next. Jupiter trine Saturn occurs.
Mom, can you come here for a second?
Thank you. You better be careful. I might just put that in.
Don't put that in, please.
we become wise with our money and resources.